This is the summary of the first section, Understanding Food Addiction. Introduction to Food Addiction. The presentation begins by addressing the concept of food addiction, questioning whether it is a legitimate concern, and highlighting its relevance in the context of obesity. The speaker, Connie Stapleton, Ph.D., emphasizes the need for an open mind when approaching this topic, suggesting that biases can hinder understanding. The goal is to explore whether food can have addictive properties similar to substances of abuse and to understand the implications of this for individuals struggling with obesity. Objective 1: Food and Drugs of Abuse Similarities. The first major objective is to identify the similarities between food and other substances of abuse. Research is cited to demonstrate that there are significant neurobiological and behavioral parallels between compulsive overeating and drug dependence. The presentation references studies that show how certain foods, particularly those high in sugar and fat, can trigger addiction-like behaviors in both animals and humans. Key studies mentioned include 1. Pedram et al., 2013. This study discusses the prevalence of food addiction and its strong association with obesity in the general population. The research highlights that overeating can share many characteristics with drug addiction. 2. Avena et al., 2008, 2009, 2012. These studies focus on how excessive sugar intake can lead to addiction-like behaviors in animal models, supporting the idea that certain foods may have addictive properties. 3. James et al., 2004. This study reveals that food-related cues can trigger brain responses similar to those seen in individuals with substance use disorders. Food addiction as a diagnostic category. The presentation also touches on the debate regarding whether food addiction should be classified as a substance use disorder in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM. Some researchers argue that the behavioral and neurobiological evidence supports the inclusion of food addiction as a recognized disorder. Historical context. The historical context of how obesity and addiction have been viewed is briefly discussed. The American Medical Association, AMA, declared alcoholism a disease in 1956, and there is speculation about when, or if, food addiction might receive a similar designation. Prevalence and impact. The section concludes by noting that a significant number of individuals, particularly those with obesity, may exhibit signs of food addiction. This raises important questions about the best approaches to treatment and the potential benefits of addressing food addiction in clinical settings. Key points to remember. 1. There are significant similarities between food addiction and substance use disorders, particularly in terms of neurobiological responses and behavioral patterns. 2. Certain foods, especially those high in sugar and fat, are more likely to be associated with addictive behaviors. 3. The classification of food addiction as a disorder is still debated, but the growing body of research suggests it shares many features with other recognized addictions. 4. Understanding and addressing food addiction could play a crucial role in treating obesity, especially in individuals who meet the criteria for food addiction.